What is up, mates? My name is Ragoline, and without further ado, let's begin with my theory of absoluteness. It's it's what I came up with when I was studying in the first university, the higher maths and all this stuff. And my brain was like, oh my lord, so it all makes sense. And back in the year 2019, maybe 18, I came up with my theory of absoluteness. I will talk about religions after I tell about my theory of absoluteness. It's something great. Well, first of all, it says like the main idea of this theory is the system of spatial and non-spatial dimensions is an infinite dimensional set of infinite dimensions. And it makes sense right after I will tell you the stuff. So everything that a human being can think of is either an object. Well, we can see all the objects, we can hear them maybe if we can't see them, for example. We can smell them and all this stuff. So we have the senses for that. There are so either objects or absolutenesses. Absoluteness is something that we think it is, but it isn't. In maths, it's numbers. For example, number 3, it's absoluteness, because in reality it is the last. So objects or absolutenesses or uncertainties. And so number 3, if we look at it as an uncertainty, is how's that? X. Well, wait a second. Yeah, variable. I just forgot that word. Is variable. Let's call it X. Leading. Striving to number 3. So we have objects, let's say tree. We know there is a tree. I can see it. I can say, yeah, there is a tree. I can hear it sometimes when, for example, wind blows. Then, as an absoluteness, I call that tree, well, it's a tree, it's tall, I don't know, it's brown. If I look at it as an uncertainty, then I say that, a human being can't really say, tell the real uncertainties. Again, variable, it's just striving to the number. So, you don't know the exact, let's say, number that there is in that variable. And about a tree, we can tell the color, we can tell the number of leaves, all this stuff, the age of that tree, the real height and stuff. But in reality, again, we can't tell what that tree is, let's say. Then each absoluteness, as we can see it, is an uncertainty in reality. I just have a large text in Russian and I have to translate all of that in my head, so it's pretty difficult. Anyways, then if we combine absoluteness and uncertainty, we get, guess what? Infinity. Because it's absolutely long, so it has no end, and we have no idea how many elements it has. So it's at the same time an absoluteness and an uncertainty. Yeah. So dimensions are also infinite, right? But the main... Wait a second. The main difference... Oh my god, I forgot such a word. Anyways, the main difference between dimension and infinity is that dimension has objects in them. So infinity is just something abstract. Well, you get absolute number of what an infinity contains, and well, it's number uncertain, and at the same time dimension has infinite number of objects. So yeah, dimension has objects. That's the thing. And since that the number of dimensions might be infinite, this is like, well, it's just logical. Then, by the way, I'm not saying I'm some genius or something, it's just what I came up with when I was well, can't say a teenager, because I was like about 20 years old back then. So humans know just 3 spatial dimensions: length, height, and width. But once humans realize that there is another dimension, this theory has its place in the world. I mean, it's just real. I think that time, another dimension, but non-spatial, and quantum dimension well, time is non-spatial. Quantum dimension, I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about that. Again, I'm not a scientist something. Let's move on. So, the consequence? What the hell? Well, the result in all of that is that if we have an infinite number of spatial dimensions, then there is an infinite number of non-spatial dimensions. Well, at least it it can be that if there are spatial dimensions, I don't know, 100 millions of those, well, infinite number, but for example, then it might be that non-spatial dimensions are all, for example, the same number. But it actually may be that that there are more than spatial and non-spatial dimensions. It's what I thought right now. Anyways, yeah, you may think about it. Every dimension may be connected with another one, may how to may contain some other dimension, or maybe a dimension may be parallel to some other, so they never contact, let's say. Maybe I can actually put all of that in Google. Why haven't I done that so far? Anyways, the existence of such non-spatial dimensions is inexplicable. Oh yeah, and impossible to imagine, since we're all humans, right? Take time, for example. It can be imagined. No. It's a question. Take time, for example. Can you imagine it? Well, for example, you can. Let's imagine that you can imagine what time is. I mean, 5:30. Anyways, it is impossible to be in non-spatial dimensions. Well, there is no space, but the possibility of their existence can solve any questions of humanity. Well, to be real, I mean, objects are great. We can see them, we can, I don't know, talk to them. But thinking about time, like, time flows, and even those objects change. It's kind of difficult to think about, even. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. It's difficult, yet interesting. So, yeah, there is no space, but the possibility can solve any question of humanity. Yeah, it sounds girlish, just because they do like this, put the finger up, and they say, he can solve any question of humanity. Well, you got the idea. Even the meaning of life and what happens after death, for example. Time does not provide an answer to these questions, and yet other non-spatial dimensions can answer them. Well, maybe it's some idea of this whole theory of absoluteness. I was searching. Well, I was a teenager, let's say, and like all teenagers, like a lot of human beings, I tried to find answers to all the questions. And that's why I came up with this theory, and I think it makes sense. Well, at least a lot of things in here are logical. Anyways, next, proof. The true proof will be the discovery of the fourth dimension, right? Right. Dimensions, just like infinities, contain the essence of absoluteness and uncertainty, and also the object. There can be an infinite number of infinities. Then there can be an infinite number of dimensions. That's, again, logical in my opinion. Once again, the theory of absoluteness, of absolutes, it says in Google. I like the word absoluteness, so I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. Anyways, does not simply apply to non-spatial dimensions, because there are no concepts of objects there. Although the theory does not refute itself, because non-spatial dimensions are part of the theory but do not include all of the elements. Well, again, something that's logical, I guess. Let's move on. So, most likely, there cannot be absolutenesses and uncertainties there either. So, maybe, again, take time. Time is something that our dimensions, our spatial dimensions, height, width, length, that these dimensions need to exist. But it may be something kind of deeper. But I haven't thought about that, and I don't think that I will be thinking about that somewhere in the future. But I wanted to make this podcast just so you will hear my my theory of absoluteness. Again, I came up with it a long time ago. I don't really remember everything from it. But I don't know, maybe if you're interested, you could think it over, I don't know, and some stuff. Anyways, yeah. Most likely there cannot be absolutenesses and uncertainties there either. From here, immediately, is time absolute? Is it uncertain? However, the theory itself and its formulation is spreading. Not spreading, like including on time. Even though time is like, is it absolute, is it uncertain? But still, the theory of absoluteness, okay, alright, includes time and other non-spatial dimensions. Then, absolute proof. So there was proof, and there is also absolute proof. Our universe must originated somewhere, proceeding from something. From here, we can certainly state that in addition to our dimensions, there are others. Again, it may be, well, it's true, but it doesn't say that it must be a dimensional, spatial dimension. Because let's imagine not time, but yeah, quantum. Let's try imagining quantum dimension. Maybe it somehow originated, created our universe with 3 dimensions. I still believe there are more. Well, yeah, that's what I want to say. And so, yeah, this state proves my theory. I can say that if we find out there is a 4th dimension, all of the theory works. Well, it somehow, again, all of it is connected and logically, well, yeah, but does it really? But in reality, we know for sure that there is more than we can see, we can tell, we can feel. I don't know. Use any of the verbs in vocabulary. At least one dimension. From here it follows that the theory of absoluteness, great, is true, since the main proof is the presence of at least one previously unknown dimension. Again, I can't say that it really proves all of the theory, even though it's really smart in my opinion, and I like it. Yeah. And so, speaking parallelly, okay. Well, yeah, it's not really about this theory, but reality is not actuality. Each person has his own reality and he alone lives in it, being the center. I like thinking about that just because I'm selfish, I guess. Well, like all people are. And if there is someone or something that is not part of a person's reality, it does not make sense even if it is in reality. So, only things that are in your reality make sense. And even though there is an actuality, not all the things, like most of the things don't, or at least shouldn't matter to you just because they are not in your reality. It's like, for example, let's take something from the other part of the planet, and like you don't care what there is. Just some fish ate some other fish. Whoa, you like just nothing to you. Anyways, when a person switches off, he falls into a gap in their reality, not counting memories and dreams, but continues to be in actuality. So when you fall asleep and you see dreams, you are actually on the bed, lying on the bed in the actuality. So like objective, like objectively you are there. So let's say actuality is something objective. Well, it has all that actuality has is objective, and your reality is subjective. Yeah. And so when you present in dreams, yeah, that's your reality when you are in a dream. Just because like it's your world, you are there, you can see, you can, I don't know, even feel. Yeah, I know that pinches still hurt in dreams. I tried. Back when I was a child. So yeah, you can actually think a lot about this one, but I don't know. I really believe in this theory of absoluteness. I wanna say that I wanna say that it makes sense, and even though I understand that I came up with this theory just because I wanted answers, just because I wanted some proof that after we die we keep living. I like believing that, and I kind of really do, but I think that like even if it's not true, for example, let's imagine we never know what happens after we die and stuff. Let's move on. Second subtopic is about religions. Christianity, Buddhism, and Muslimness. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really don't want to hurt anyone with this podcast, but so there are many religions. I tried reading a Bible, but I finished reading after I don't know, 10 pages maybe. I just couldn't. I began with the, how's it called? Well, with the first book. You know, there are two books, and I began reading with the first one, and it's so boring. Come on. And speaking of Bible, Jesus Christ, how boring it is. But I know that it may give answers to many people on many questions, which is great. I really I myself believe in God. I'm not saying that God is a person or something. Maybe it's something else, but the thing is, our world, our universe can't exist without some kind of God. Can be created with some kind of God. Yeah, I almost began speaking Russian. So, long story short, something should have created our universe. That's it. Big Bang, yeah. Who started the Big Bang? It started itself? How? For what reason? So basically, yeah, there is God. Maybe it's not a human, maybe it's some computer, some simulation. Well, if it's yeah, it's some kind of simulation on some computer, then God is a human who created that simulation, right? Seems like it makes sense, I think. Anyways, speaking of religions, I think religions are great, and it's a great, amazing thing that people thought of, even though back in the day it was, again, something that I created when I was 20 years old. People just came up with the, well, Bible just because they wanted some answers. They wanted to, well, I don't know, to answer the questions of life, let's say. And I think it's almost about any religion. I don't know about Buddhism really much, but I think it makes a lot of sense because it's more like philosophy than religion, and again, I really like it, but to be honest, I don't want to spend time, at least a lot of time, on just philosophy like that, on religions, on a lot of stuff, just because, like, why do I need it? I mean, I can spend it on my life, on my family, and some things are not worth it. Let's talk about good in religions. I think that religions give people hope, a lot of hope. And some people find themselves, I guess, happy thinking of how gods, or gods, maybe just one, I don't know, thinks or think good about the person, or they, like, people like praying. I mean, it's meditational. Well, yeah, let's say meditational, when you are just thinking about yourself, about some god, about something good in anything, whatever, and it may really help people for any reason. I don't know. It's difficult to say, but religions are great. Let's talk about the fourth subtopic, the bad in religions. They are great since it's not about fanatics. Because once there are fanatics of the religion, of, well, of whatever, fanatics make it bad because they murder people, they do terrorism, they do bad stuff. If a person just believes and keeps it to himself, that's alright, and maybe to his family, well, yeah, mostly it's alright. But when a person wants everyone to believe in what he believes in, that's bad. Because, well, again, we don't know. We know nothing. And yeah, again, if it's fascism when one person wants everyone to think the same way. Yeah. So, unfortunately, there is a bad in religions. I can't say that in every religion there is some bad sides, but like as much as I know, in every religion there are crazy people who are fanatics and they want to harm people who has different religion. The bad in religions, let's begin with the Crusades. When people just hated other people because they believed in something else, and so many deaths there were. I mean, death is something alright. As you may know if you watch videos on my channel, I'm more like, I want at least to be more like Mexicans, that they think that death is, well, fine. And I agree with it, since it's an how to say it, like it's something that you can't avoid. And let's move on to the last subtopic, number 5, I'm sorry. It's atheism. So, when you don't believe in God, again, I wanna say that I just checkmated all the atheists here with these podcasts, but podcast 1. But again, if a human being doesn't believe anything, should we call him what? Atheist? That's it? Just like one person believes in Christianity, I believe in the theory of absoluteness, and the third person believes in nothing. He just lives. It's beginning of an anecdote. And we enter the bar. No, I mean, again, I don't really like atheists just because they always try to tell everyone that there is no God. Like, you don't know. How can you keep saying that there is no God? I mean, again, if a human being says that there is a God, the same thing that they don't know. There may be no God, but they believe in that. They want to believe in that. And if you're an atheist who just doesn't like that everyone believes that there is a God, that everyone believes in something and you don't, and you want nobody to believe in anything, I mean, it's just stupid. What the hell? Literally. So yeah, in my life I knew several atheists, and I don't like how atheists let's say behave. But if I wish that atheists were like people who believe in God, in whatever, in theory of absoluteness. Just keep it to yourself. Like, I believe in something. That's it. That's great. I know. I just recorded the podcast on the topic of the theory of absoluteness, but I'm not saying that you should believe in this too. I love believing in this theory, and I wish there was someone who believed in it too. That's it. I don't want any more. I don't want everyone to believe in this. Basically, that's it. And speaking of atheists, yeah, they usually want. Well, I am not really right, just because not only atheists want everyone else to believe in nothing, but people who believe in something, they usually want others to believe in the same religion. But again, some of them are, well, let's say good people. They don't want like everyone to believe in the same. They don't care even, because I can imagine a person who just believes in what he wants. I don't know, prays at night and before sleep, and that's it. And it brings joy to the person. And I also can remember an atheist who doesn't believe in God, in anything, and just keeps it to himself, not caring about everyone else, about who believes in what. Yeah, I believe in good. I can say that there are people who are good, and unfortunately I know that there are people who aren't good. Well, some sort of, that they want everyone to be believing in something or believing in nothing. Yeah, there are people like that. But is it bad? Well, mostly. Is it good? Well, maybe we need to balance the, well, good people with that kind of people. And maybe a person who is good, well, good. Yeah, let's say good person with question. No, not question. Quote marks. Good people. Quotation mark. Yeah. Those who believe in something and never tell anyone that they believe in it. And bad person with quotation marks are people who believe in something and want everyone else to believe in it. So good people may be really bad in real life, and maybe they believe in something and pray at night just so they think that after death they won't burn hell. And bad people, well, they are usually terrorists or something. So yeah, I think I need to stop talking. Yeah, well, that's the idea. All right, I think that's it. I've said enough. Losing my religion, yeah. REM. No, just listen to me. Listen to this podcast, listen to all of my podcasts, because I usually say something cool about my life, about some things, or maybe not that cool. I don't know. Listen to me. I would be I would feel better if so. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video, for listening to this podcast. I keep making this mistake. I don't know, I just like the idea that people watch my videos, not only listen to my podcast. Alright, thank you very much for listening to my podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, maybe leave a comment down below. I would really appreciate that. And see you next time. Have a nice life.